Peace be with you. Welcome to the Institute of All Intelligent Life. My name is Ali Muhammad Kartar Puri, also known as Allan Keislar, and we are continuing our reading from Holy Scriptures. I'm just going to make one comment before I start today. That is, yesterday, if you were listening, you would know already, I started my chat and it went on. I read through the Scriptures and I saw there were many, even dozens of comments. Some of them were quite long and substantial, but they were going by on my phone very quickly, and I didn't get a chance to actually read them because I was reading the Scriptures. And then suddenly I got a message from Facebook, something has gone wrong, try again. So I started again. I thought that had been lost, and I started again, and then I completed that chat, although with some cutting. Sometimes something got cut off, the internet connection, but I completed it, and then I shared it, posted it to my page. And then, only this morning, when I looked at my Facebook page, I saw that the two of them were there. But some interesting fact is that all those comments that had been there on the first reading were not there. So I don't know if someone at Facebook didn't like all those comments and deleted them, or why they disappeared, but my chat reappeared without all those comments, and there were only 3 short comments. So I'm sorry that I'm not able to see all those comments to answer them, but if I see some comments, I may interrupt what I'm reading in order to answer that question or comment, because I don't want the same thing to happen again, comments to disappear. Okay, we will begin with the Sri Guru Granth Sahib, and we're reading today the 4th part of Sri Japji Sahib, in the 2nd verse, or Paura maybe it's called, I don't remember exactly what it's called in Punjabi, but the 2nd section of the Japji Sahib, which is the 2nd section after the Mool Mantar of the Guru Granth Sahib. And I'm sad to say that my computer was not working properly today. I couldn't get on. But I do have this first part of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib memorized, so I know that I know what it says in Punjabi, so I've made my own translation. So my translation is, without His command, there is not one blessing. By His command, this world is forever. That may not be a real good translation, but Ik na hukmi bakshish ik, hukum sada bhavai. Ik na hukmi bakshish ik. Without one command, there's not one bakshish, one blessing or one gift. Hukum sada bhavai. But by His command, this world, this bhavai, is forever. That's just kind of a literal translation, the best I could do. Anyway, the point is just that the command of God is all-powerful. Nothing happens without the order of God. We cannot get one blessing or benediction or gift or bakshish. And if He commands it, this world exists forever, or we are in this world forever. So God is all-powerful. We should never be upset or worried or in anxiety, because we know that God is in control of everything, and God is our best friend. So He will always do what's best for us. All we have to do is just surrender to His command, to His hukum, and everything will be good. Everything will be perfect. Everything will be better than perfect, actually. All we have to do is surrender. That's what Islam means, surrender to God and accept His guidance and make the choice. We always choose at every moment, let me do what God is guiding me to do rather than what I might want to do, or I might be too lazy to do what God wants. We must surrender to the command of God. Okay, next we will read from the Holy Quran. This is Surah 26, the poets, Shu'ara, and we're reading today a short verse, 17, where Moses and Aaron are speaking to Pharaoh, as Allah has ordered them to do, and they say to Pharaoh, "You send with us the children of Israel." So Allah has ordered Moses, along with Aaron, to go to Pharaoh and tell him, let the children of Israel go, which you have kept as slaves, and we will take them back to our land. So this is, again, continuing as we were saying yesterday or day before. We were talking about how God gives us an order. He gives each one of us an order. Some very, very difficult, like the order to Moses and Aaron, would seem impossible to fulfill. Go to Pharaoh and tell him to let all the children of Israel go. Come with us. How was that possible that would happen? But they did it because God ordered. So we must follow the hukum of Allah, however difficult it may seem. Just like I have been given the hukum to try to help people understand that all religions are parts of one religion, and we should all be together in love and harmony. We should not fight with each other on the basis of religion or even other divisions in humanity. We are all one family. We are all children of the same Adam and Eve. So we should all realize our unity and oneness. So that seems quite a difficult order to try to fulfill, but that's the order I've been given. So that's what I'm trying to do. And of course, I've been given a big help by telling me, I've been told, that Pakistan is the place where this will happen, where pure Islam will be reestablished, namely love. Pure Islam means love, justice, truth, mercy, forgiveness, and service to God, and service to each other, and service to all of creation. So this is the job I've been given, the order I've been given. So we each have an order like this. Sometimes it's very clear what our order is in one way or another. Sometimes it's not so clear. If it's not clear, we should always pray. In any case, we should always be praying constantly, remembering God and seeking His guidance, His hukum. Then we will remain happy. Okay, next, we're turning to the Holy Bible, the book of Ezekiel. The next verse we're reading today is Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 15. And now, as I looked at the living creatures, I saw a wheel upon the earth beside the living creatures, one for each of the four of them. Now, this is a very, very interesting verse. What is this wheel? Many people have speculated, what are these wheels? Each of those four creatures now has a wheel beside them. Is that a flying saucer? We will read tomorrow and the next day more details about it, then we can get a better idea what this wheel is. But each one of these four heavenly creatures or extraterrestrials has a wheel on the earth beside them. I've seen a wheel. When I was 9 years old, I was walking home from school through a forested area, and in an opening, a little clearing in the middle of the forest, there was this wheel sitting there, lying, not exactly on the ground, but on some legs, you could say, on some stand, and it was a flying saucer. It was a wheel. It was a round shape. And I met, for the first time that I can recall, whom I now call my spiritual mother. She was very, very loving and kind, and I really felt like she was my real mother. In fact, so much so that when I got home, I told my mother, my biological mother, "You're not my real mother." So there are these wheels, and Ezekiel saw four of them beside those four creatures, and I saw one beside a heavenly, or she was actually inside of it, along with 4 or 5 other extraterrestrials. They were not exactly human beings. So this world has more things. There are more things between heaven and earth than are dreamt of in your philosophy or our philosophy, O Horatio. That's a quote from Shakespeare, Hamlet, I think. So these are real things, these wheels or these flying saucers as we call them. That appears to be what Ezekiel saw. Okay, now we will continue to the Dhammapada, chapter 11, verse 3 today. Thoroughly worn out is this body, a nest of diseases, perishable. This putrid mass breaks up. Truly, life ends in death. So we're continuing from yesterday where the Buddha is describing this beautiful body, what we think of as beautiful, but actually it's just a worn out nest of diseases, perishable. So this putrid mass, in fact, he said. So actually this body, we may think it's very beautiful, but it smells bad. That's why we have to wear perfumes or deodorants. So the Buddha is pointing out this body is actually putrid. It's not so wonderful as we may think, especially when we're young and in good health. But actually we should remember that we're going to die. Truly life ends in death. Every one of us, we are going to die. We're going to have to leave this body. And it's a good instruction to remember, because it's very easy to forget. This world is very temporary. We are in this world for only a few decades, 100 years at the most or so. So we should remember it every day. And this reminds me, this putrid mass, I remember many, many years ago, what year was it? About 1981 or so. I was teaching in Karachi, and I was actually teaching English. And one of the books I used to teach English to my advanced English students was some quotations from Hazrat Ali, Imam Ali, Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu. And one of those sayings by him was that this world, I can't remember exactly, but it was something like this: I see this world as less than a speck of something unpleasant on the tip of a hair of a fly's appendage or something. So this world is really putrid. This world is really not very significant. We think it's so wonderful. We give our lives to trying to achieve something, to make money and get a house or a car or get a family and everything. We think we'll become so happy and successful. No, it's very temporary. It's all going to end very soon, just within a few years. So the Buddha is reminding us, very good reminder, every one of us, we should remember every day that this could be the last day of our life. That many saints have given that instruction, that every day we should remember, this may be the last day of my life. What would you do if you knew you were going to die within 24 hours or even within an hour? So we should always be conscious of that fact. It's true. This world is temporary. Our body is very temporary. It ends in death for sure. And we're finally turning to the Bhagavad-gita, chapter 5, text 21. Such a liberated person is not attracted to material sense pleasure, but is always in trance, enjoying the pleasure within. In this way, the self-realized person enjoys unlimited happiness, for he concentrates on the Supreme. Wow. So, the Buddha has reminded us that this world is not real, a real place to try to enjoy ourselves. This world is very temporary, and this body is actually a putrid mass, full of sores and diseases. But the Bhagavad-gita is reminding us, or informing us, that that doesn't mean we should not be happy. We just have to turn within. We have to turn to God. We have to concentrate on Allah. Allah, 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 Allah. Any name of God. If we chant, we can concentrate. We will enjoy unlimited happiness within if we just can turn ourselves in this way to God and focus our attention on the Supreme. And such a person is not attracted to the material sense pleasures. So why not? Because that person is in a higher pleasure within, the pleasure of being with God and serving God and knowing God and carrying out the order of God. That is actually the highest pleasure. Allahu Akbar. Okay, so I didn't see the comments or questions. I'm sure there were some maybe that went by, but we have one from Khadija Zahid. There were some others. Assalamu alaikum from Mawish Anwar. Others, but apart from the Assalamu alaikums and wa alaikum salam to you all, Khadija Zahid says, are you still in contact with your extraterrestrial mother? If so, can you contact her, or only she can contact you whenever she wants? Does she use telepathy? I'm always impressed by your very, very good questions, Khadija ji. Yes, I am in contact with her, but really it's up to her, not to me. She has come several times to me visibly, and on one occasion she actually left physical evidence just to convince me without any doubt that I wasn't dreaming or imagining. But yeah, she really contacts me when she wants. I guess I could say that whenever I do want to contact her, if I do, I often can just meditate, go into a sort of trance, and envision her form. And my phone is ringing. So yes, she uses telepathy. Although I always experienced that she was talking to me in English, and maybe she does actually vocalize aloud in English sometimes, but at other times she uses telepathy. In fact, as far as I know, extraterrestrials generally use telepathy, because one experience I had was very obvious. Everyone was using telepathy. I've told about this experience in 1998, yes, when I was taken to a meeting where there were many different species of extraterrestrials meeting together. There was a table in the middle with 2 or 3 dozen, maybe a little more, representatives of different extraterrestrial species around a table, oval table in the middle, and they were all talking with each other. They all had different languages, it was very clear, but they all understood each other. And there wasn't some translation systems where everyone can put on earphones and hear the translation in their own language, but they were all understanding each other by telepathy. Mm-hmm. So as far as I can understand, definitely the to contact each other, to communicate with each other, is telepathy, and most extraterrestrials, at least the ones I've been in touch with, they do use telepathy. As far as I know, most of the time, that's the usual process. But my extraterrestrial mother has, at least that's how I experienced it. She was actually talking to me in English. Okay, I think interestingly, that's all the comments I see. Again, I don't know, like I said in the beginning of this class, I think that Facebook is interfering with my live chats, because I used to get so many views and so many people coming on, and just yesterday there were many, many people who came on and were asking a lot of questions, but for some reason they all disappeared. And when that chat appeared on my Facebook, I got the message, it's been lost, something has happened, and try again, but all those comments had disappeared. So maybe that's happening now, because this is very, very unusual. In fact, I can't believe that this is possible, that I only have 2 Assalamu Alaikums and one question, but an excellent question. So we will end now, and please be happy. Don't worry about the horrible situation in the world, very confusing, distressful situation, especially what's happening between the United States and Iran, but don't worry. God is in control, and everything will work out for the best. Let us just pray and meditate on a beautiful world full of peace and harmony and love, and make whatever efforts we can to work in that direction where everyone serves each other. We can begin by serving others around us, and if we can meditate like that and envision world peace, Pakistan in unity and harmony, especially with Khalistan, as we see in Kartarpur already happening, and it will come, God willing. Thank you all very much. May God protect us all.